Hello everyone! Today we will learn about the MoMA history. In the 1920s, Miss Lily B. Bliss, Mary Queen Sullivan, and A.B. Aldrich Rockefeller, three progressive patrons of the art known as the Daring Ladies, perceived a need to change the conservative policies of traditional museums. And years later, the Museum of Modern Art was founded in 1929 and Alfred H. Barr became the director of the museum. The MoMA changed its location for us several times. The Head building was MoMA's home for 2 years before moving to a rented space on West 53rd Street. Then, in 1937, the museum moved to the Time and Life building in Rockefeller Center. And finally, 2 years later, on May 10 of 1939, MoMA opened it to the public in its permanent home on West 53rd Street. The new building was designed by Philip Goodwin and Edward Duller Stone, modernist architects best known for their innovative Bauhaus-influenced international style. The museum was designed into a multi-departmental structure based on myriad forms of visual expression. Subsequent expressions took place during the 50s and the 60s, planned by the architect Philip Johnson, and in 1984, a major renovation designed by Cesar Philip doubled the museum's gallery space, and renovations didn't stop there. On May 21 of 2002, MoMA closed its doors and opened a temporary home in Queens, New York City. The museum's redesign was led by the Japanese architect Yoshiro Taniguchi, who had briefly worked for Walter Gropius, founder of the Bauhaus School. Nowadays, MoMA's art collection has grown to approximately 200,000 pieces of art, and MoMA's library holds over 320,000 items. Works of art from its collections are displayed in rotating installations so that the public may regularly expect to find new works on display. Today, MoMA welcomes millions of visitors every year and is one of the world's largest museums devoted to modern and contemporary art. Oh wow, I can't believe that I'm finally here. It's beautiful. I just booked the ticket so we can enter now. This is Bicycle Wheel by Marcel Duchamp in 1951. I love this piece because it shows a very interesting characteristic of Dadaism, which is contradiction. The artist uses an immobile object, which is the stool, and then he collocates on top a wheel that represents movement. Notice how they are both ready-made objects, that it's another characteristic of Dadaism. And now, with the current composition, none of the objects can be used for their original purpose. That's beautiful. This painting over here is called Dance 1, and it was painted by Henri Matisse in 1909. I really enjoy watching this painting. Let's analyze it. Well, Matisse only used 4 naturalistic colors for this painting: blue for the sky, green for the ground, and black and pale pink for the bodies. Matisse was more focused in the use of color rather than in the details, and we can see that in this painting because the figures are drawn loosely and almost with no interior definition. But in this painting, Matisse's final lines convey a remarkable fluidity and sense of dynamic movement in the sweeping curve along the arms of the dancers. Also, the arms form an oval in the middle of the canvas, helping to create harmony in the picture. Number 31, 1950, was painted by Jason Pollock. One thing that impressed me the most when I look at this painting is the size of the canvas. It is huge. It is known that many abstract expressionism artists make big-scale pieces. Also, they don't have a clear focal point, like this painting. Pollock's creative process was similar to a choreography, and in this one, he began by laying canvas on the floor and pouring paint into the surface, in the colors blue, gray, black, and white, as we can see on the canvas. Sometimes straight from the can, or other times he uses sticks or brushes to apply the paint. And the way that the paint lies on the canvas suggests speed and force. In the end, the painting looks tense but has some details of delicacy. Campbell's Soup Cans of 1962 is one of the most famous artworks of Andy Warhol, and also in the pop culture. It consists of 32 cans of the soup, where the predominant colors of the cans are white, red, black, and gold. They look very similar between each other, but some details in the cans change, like for example, the lettering. They were made with a process of projection, tracing, painting, and stamping. Once Warhol said, "I used to drink it. I used to have the same lunch every day for years. I guess the same thing over and over again." In that sense, repetition was internalized by the artist, but it also had to do with commercial mass culture. Thank you so much for coming with me to the MoMA. So see you next time. Bye.